So we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis. The next thing we need is y equals x. What does y equals x look like?
Going across.
What do you mean across?
Top right corner to the bottom left.
Okay. This is something that if you're not sure, the way to look at it is if y equals 3, x has to equal 3. They have to be the same number if they're equal. So you can always plug in numbers. Okay, so I can always graph those numbers. -2, -2. And my line is going to go from left to right, increasing. And that's y equals x. And you should be writing the equation next to the line. This one's not on there, but I challenge you. What does y equals -x look like?
No. Heavy wide. I don't even know. I just looked this one up.
Okay. Well, what does the negative sign do to it?
Makes it go down.
Changes the direction, right? It's for slope.
Close your graph.
Okay, so you're really going from left to right downward. It's easier to draw it backwards though, especially on the board. So this is y equals -x. You're going to see y equals x more than you'll see y equals -x, but you do need to see it and understand what it is. Questions so far? Okay, so let's try these here. X equals 3 and x equals 4. Where is x equals 3 on your graph? X equals 3 on your graph. Okay, Grant says it's right here. Do you agree with him? We want the line where x equals 3. So what does that line look like? Is it going to be vertical or horizontal?
Wait.
If I go this way,
vertical.
what line is this?
That's horizontal.
Isn't this
Horizontal.
the x-axis if I go horizontal to x-axis?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not going to help us out. But we can try this one here, and we'll test a couple points just to be sure. So if I pick a point up here, and I pick a point down here, so the top 3, back here,
I'm talking.
3, 5, I'm looking for the x-axis, for the x number. We're looking for it to be 3. So if I pick this point down here, it's 3, -3. Again, we're looking for the x. So this line is x equals 3. Graph x equals -4. Now knowing that. All right. X equals -4. Questions there?
I did it right.
Now try y equals 5 and y equals -1. Where is y equals 5?
Going across 5.
Okay, so we're at the top. Again, you can test points if you would like. Y equals -1. We're going to go down on the y-axis at -1 and come across, horizontal. Any questions on these? Okay, so I need you to pull out the note sheet that you picked up from the front table. It says reflections on it. and start graphing the first problem. Okay, the graphing part I know you should not be struggling with at this point. Hopefully you've got it. Very few points, unless it's on the axis, you guys tend to have problems with. So we should be good. Double check. Make sure yours matches the one on the board. Now we're going to take triangle EFG, and it's going to be reflected over the y-axis. Where is the y-axis? Up and down. Yes, vertical. What I would like you to do with this each time, if you want to use the highlighter, that's fine. If you only have a pen or pencil, you need to darken that line and write y-axis, what we're looking for. This is your line of reflection. You're going to draw it in your picture. Sometimes it's already there, kind of like the x and y axis, and sometimes you have to draw it in. Okay, reflections work a little different than rotations. You can use patty paper. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this by counting. There are rules. There are 3 different ways. I'm going to show you today how to count them, and we're going to come up with the rules. If I'm watching you or you are like, this is not making sense, let me know and I will show you personally how to do it with patty paper. I think a lot of you will be able to get a whole lot of use out of just seeing what's happening. So with the reflection, what are we doing to the picture? Reflecting it, which means what?
Flipping it.
Flipping it, right? Flipping it over. We're taking the object and flipping it over. So we had these little pictures here, and these work well because they have letters on them, so you can see. But when we flipped it over, you can see how it flipped all the way over. You can even fold it in half and match it up. And that's what we're going to do here. So everything that's on one side of the line of reflection is going to move to the other. And everything that's on the other side is going to move to the opposite. So I'm going to start with F. I'm going to go over 1, 2. I counted 2 boxes to get to my line of reflection. So it's going to be the same distance away. So I'm going to count 2 boxes again. 1, 2. So here is F prime. Which is -2, 4. And do that down here with G. 1, 2. 2 boxes to get to the line of reflection. 2 away. It's the same distance. You do not have to have these orange lines drawn into your picture, but I want you to see what I'm doing as I'm counting them. Okay, we're going to do several of these today. So E, 1, 1. So here's E prime. And some of these, many of these will be overlapping. Okay, so G was -2, -4. And E is -2, 4. So we just flipped it over. If you were to fold your paper on the y-axis and hold it up to the light, if there's nothing behind it, you could see straight through and they would match up. Okay, I want you to try B. Careful, because I think our line of reflection has changed. Okay, so you're flipping, you're reflecting over the x-axis this time. So instead of going side to side, you're going to go up and down. You must have both of your triangles labeled. Here's B. Any questions on those? Okay, I want you to complete the problems until you get to problem E. Stop at problem E. Okay, here's C, so check with C. Does yours match that? And it should match it to a T. You should have all the points. You should have everything labeled. You should have the line of reflection on there, the x-axis. Okay, so let's check D. Here you go. It's on the board. Were you able to come up with a rule? The rules for flipping across the x-axis. I'm down here now. Off to the right on your sheets. Write a rule for the reflection of the x-axis and one for the y-axis. Were you able to get the x-axis reflection? If it was xy, it would go to... What happened to the numbers? I think that was letter B and C.
Huh?
Looking for the rules. What'd you get?
Over the x-axis, x negative, x y turns to x negative 1.
XY to x negative y.
Over the y, x turns to negative x.
Okay, very good. There are your rules. Get them down.
No, that's reflected over.
Okay. start by graphing. Be very careful, we're going to change how we're reflecting this time. This time we're reflecting over y equals x. What does y equals x look like again? Yeah, it's constantly increasing. Diagonal through your graph. Y equals x. Okay, so this one you can also count. You can use the patty paper, whichever way you want to do it. But you're not going to be able to count straight down like we did before. You can't count, you'd have to count diagonally to line of reflection. So let me show you what that looks like. So again, everything that's on one side is moving to the other and vice versa. So if I'm back here, if I'm starting at B, I'm going to count diagonally to my line. So I got 1, 2.5 to get to my line. 2.5 boxes diagonally. Then I've got, here's my half, 1.5, 2.5. And there's my new point B prime. And you can do that each time. Counting 1, 1. You just got to be careful counting diagonally. Okay, what happens with your numbers here, your coordinates? Grant, what happens with your coordinates here?
They flip.
They flip.
Good guess, Grant.
Okay, your numbers are flipping. So try that with F and problem G. We're going to finish off the front side of this sheet today. I'll go over them as you guys start to finish them off and show you. Okay, so we're working on those. Okay, take a second to check F. Are there any questions with F? Okay, here's G. Please check it with what you have. Okay, what pattern do you see from E to G? How did the coordinates change in this case? Okay, they're just flips. So we're going to go from X, Y to Y, X here. So if you are someone who can memorize, this is great for you. These rules are great. But you'd have to memorize all of them for rotations, reflections. Maybe this is the only one you want to memorize and the rest of them you're going to do just by hand. That's fine. Questions here so far? Questions?